Hi, I'm going to take you through an alteration project that I have on my sewing table today. The client has asked for some decoration added to the bodice and top of the skirt and to increase the flare in the skirt. The original dress had a tulle overlay with an embroidered bodice section. The lower layer was a stretch fabric and it zipped up at the back. My client provided me some glitter foam snowflakes which I attached to the skirt. These are super fiddler and the cotton kept getting stuck on all the sticky out bits. She also provided some diamante snowflakes which she wanted attaching to the bodice section. I spread them around in the gaps on the front and the back, as you can see. Next, to add fullness, she wanted a petticoat. I placed this on my form and then placed the dress on top. You could immediately see that the petticoat was just too restricted in the dress and it had no room to move inside, and this was without any legs on my form. So with an actual body inside, it's no good. So this is where we had to add the fullness. You can just see the material straining. I did order a couple of samples of fabric to match up, but everything I received was really thick and just didn't have the same silkiness that the original fabric had. You can see now how see-through the fabric is compared to the sample I ordered. It just wouldn't have matched. So instead, we bought a second dress. To increase the diameter at the bottom of the skirt, we're going to insert the dress of the second fabric into the first. This is by Godets. This is done by opening a seam, inserting a triangle into the open seam, and we will do this on the back seam and both of the side seams. So I begin by unpicking the original seams. I stopped to have a look at this point and you can see the petticoat is bursting out of the side and you've still got some tension in the upper part, so I actually needed to take it higher than originally, so I continued with this and I added the back seam. When adding Godets, it's best to add them evenly around the hem, or you can get fullness just at the side sections. So try to do front, back and sides if your garment allows it. Once done, I then measured the gaps created. I measured it in length and I measured the width when sat comfortably open on my dress form. I then got my second dress, laid the skirt section out flat and measured my triangle. I added 1 centimetre seam allowance either side. I'm cutting 2 layers at once here. I then use this section I cut to trace and cut a third section for the back piece. I placed the point of the triangle at the very top opening of one of my seams. Pinned it in place with a very, very slight overlap to give me something to work with. This is with right sides together. And as the fabric is stretched, you have to work carefully to make sure you don't put any tension as you work. I then use my overlocker to secure this and stitch it in place permanently, finishing the edges at the same time. Next, I repeated this for the other side of the triangle, working down the opposite edge of the same seam I have opened. This is a little bit trickier when you're at your machine and you need to make sure that you get right up to the top edge and that the fabric is flat before you move it through your machine. You just have to work slowly and keep an eye on the fabric as it moves. You sew this all the way down to the hem. Examining this, you can see it from the back. It's neat, clean and tidy, no puckers or gathers. And then again from the front, we will just finish it off here at the hem so it's even, but this is a nice neat seam. We repeat this for all three and then place it back on the dress form to see how it looks. As you can see, it's not really visible from outside unless you look. It blends into the original fabric and the hem is now the same length. I've evened that off, but it's added some room in the skirt to allow you to move. I think in total I added 1 metre to this hem, and as you can see the dress is much fuller as the client needed and should be great to wear. Here's a side-by-side view of the dress before and after, and you can see there is a lot more volume in the skirt. It looks a lot more dramatic and most importantly, the wearer can now actually walk. If you have enjoyed this and want to see other alteration projects or sewing tutorials, please like and subscribe to my channel to be notified of new videos.